I noticed facing the Giants this time.
No comment. None. I don't have a comment.
Aaron Whitlow.
Braden Spivey here. Welcome back to the Markout Movie Podcast.
And on today's episode, we are doing our Halloween stuff. On today's episode, we're doing a movie by the title of
Look, I don't even know what's going on right now. So I didn't watch this movie, Aaron. I saw a movie about a spider, a giant spider at that. I didn't watch the biopic of Sting.
Oh, my bad. We're doing this movie then.
You called about the noises in your walls, right?
Oh, no, not me.
You sure about that?
All right, there's a quick little snippet from the movie Sting. Oh, no, wrong.
Wrong. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think I added in the wrong clip thing, is what it is. But anyway, Sting is a 2024 film about a little girl. I'm not going to even look at the IMDb thing. I'm just going to give you a quick little synopsis. A little girl, a misfit type of little girl, I guess, who's very rambunctious, who finds a spider as a pet in her grandmother's apartment. And unbeknownst to her, the spider is from another planet and is the biggest predator to be on God's green earth. Yeah. Movie stars anyone that none of these people that I know or recognize, other than my man Jermaine Fowler as Frank, who I wish was in more of the movie. Do you recognize him from Blackening?
Wait, I recognize him from a lot of things. He was in Blackening. He was in Coming to America too. He was in that Superior Donut show, which I did watch. I love the dude. I mean, when I see him, I know I'm at least gonna like him. Well, I didn't really like him Coming to America, but other than that, I have greatly enjoyed him.
Yeah, he was clearly, I would say from the Blackening, I'd say that he was the standout in that movie. Him and the I don't know his name, but the gay guy in that movie. I thought that he was pretty
Can't remember his name either.
Yeah. Oh, and also like King. Is his name King? The one that married the white one?
Yeah, I think so.
I liked him too. I thought he was pretty funny.
You know, as far as, I mean, I know we're kind of getting off track here, but I thought a lot of people, majority of that cast stood out. But I do agree with you. He did stand out the most because he was playing the whitest black guy I've ever seen. He put Carlton to shame. I mean, to shame.
Yeah.
Can I say that? I don't know if I can say that, but I said it.
Oh, he's also he was in a movie called Sorry to Bother You, and he's playing like he's not the antagonist to Lakeith Stanfield, but he's in this movie, and they no, I think it's his friend at one point. I don't know, but they have the argument. But the argument is the most polite, the politest argument that you'll ever see. It's a funny clip. You should look it up. But it's just like them compliment one another, but there's an undertone animosity there. So he's like, man, I hope you have a great day, brother. I hope that you're very successful today. Oh, you smell nice. What is that, new cologne? No, man, it's just my deodorant. Oh, man, well, maybe I should take you out. We should go get some rest sometime. Oh, man, I should buy it. It's on me, brother. It's just like they literally just are having this back and forth. It's great. But anyway, Sting. The movie starts with this uh, lady, Helga, who has dementia or Alzheimer's. I'm not sure of the difference between those two things, but she has some cognitive issues, and she hears noises coming from her. Um, I just thought about another part, but she hears noises coming from her vent in the room, and so she calls the exterminator, Frank,
Mhm.
who is played by Jermaine Fowler. Uh, is that his name?
Yeah, yeah, that's his name.
But yeah, he's played by him, and he comes in and is essentially pulled into the room, and off screen you think that he's murdered.
Yeah,
It
I
goes,
thought he was the first kill.
yeah, first person to die in the movie is a black man. It's a trope, and that's what I thought happened. I'm like, oh, so even though technically when he got there, there's another man that's in the vent. He just pulled away. Technically, they'd probably been the first kill, but yeah, uh, but anyway, the she hears it, but then she gets distracted by the television, and she forgets that it happened. So she sits down and starts knitting again, and you know, and the movie starts, and the opening sequence, which I like. I want to get your thoughts on. You see
I mean,
the thing fault the
yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it. I don't know. I see here. It's conflict. I'm confused about how I feel about the tone of this movie, because there's at times it's silly and it's goofy and it's fun, and there's times they trying to be serious. It's just they needed to pick a lane as far as I was concerned. But I mean, I like the opening sequence with the exterminator, and when you thinking he gets killed, I liked it, but also I was like, well, they just killed off the best character in the movie. You could just tell he was going to be the best part about it, but I don't know. But I was on board for it. I didn't like the little girl though. Once we meet her, and she just came off so weird and kind of creepy at times. It's just, I don't know. I've never been into spiders like that, or maybe people that are really into spiders could relate to this person, this little girl. I couldn't, so I couldn't relate to her. I did relate to the stepfather though.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I didn't really relate to the little girl as much as the stepfather. I am stepfather, and so I've been in that, have that, that it cuts the knife through you when you hear someone say, instead of dad, you don't hear dad, or daddy or anything. You just hear Aaron, and you're like, okay, yeah. But it's the way she says Ethan. Yeah, I'm sorry, Ethan. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
okay. Ooh, but yeah, the opening sequence with the spider. So the spider little ball or cocoon or whatever crashes through a window, lands inside of a dollhouse, and hatches. And that's
yeah,
where the spider is. And the little girl breaks into this house, and you don't know what's happening. Uh, and she breaks into the house and steals the doll, and finds the spider and puts the spider in a box and takes it with her. Um, and so she's gonna raise the spider. She finds out the spider can mimic whistles, animal sounds, pretty much anything like that. Um, and so I thought that was a cool concept. But I agree with you as far as like the tone of the movie. It
yeah.
goes camping, and I love it when it leads into the campiness. I love it when it kind of got into some more of the reality, real issues, like the issue between the stepfather and the stepdaughter, and and the argument between him and his wife, you know, it kind of changed the tone a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, I enjoyed I enjoyed the camera work with the movie, the way it kind of flowed, it told
Yeah.
stories through that, and the camera, the POV shot, and there's interesting. I wanted more characters in this apartment unit. I love, I love, I love the con. I don't even know what you call that, but uh the kind of contained set that has like Evil Dead Rise, Evil Dead Rise. I know you didn't really care for it, but I love that in that you had like different characters, and I wanted more of that. Like I love movies that have characters that don't really know each other, that stuck in a place and kind of get to know each other and learn who each other is, and have
Yeah.
to fight or whatever. Kind of like I always go back to Tremors is the best example of that. But another apartment type of thing would be batteries not included. Like you have this tenant, and they had to learn who each other is to kind of
Yeah.
survive.
Also, the movie. Now that I'm thinking about it, it kind of does remind. And there's a reason I'm bringing this up because of how it ends. It reminded me a lot of Critters 3 when it took place in an apartment building with Leo DiCaprio. For people that aren't familiar with the Critters franchise, so it kind of reminded me of that a little bit as well, which I thought was kind of cool. Especially the ending, the last shot of the movie. That's total. That's a Critters thing for me personally. I thought of that movie. When I saw this at the end, I was like, oh. Yes, that's a perfect shot of it because that's exactly how the original Critters ended. And but anyway, I did want to speak of I think it was I don't know if it was the very first kill we saw, but it was the woman gets in her mouth and she kind of falls, breaks her neck.
Yeah,
It does a lot of damage. um, that actually creeped me out. I honestly, when it went in her mouth and it comes out of her stomach, I was like, ugh. Yeah, it was like, yeah, that got me, and that actually got me really invested in the movie completely.
yeah.
Like at that point, I was like, okay, I'm on board. Let's see where this goes. But I thought that was like the greatest spider kill I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I want to say also this movie does a lot of it references other films
Yeah,
heavily, which I love it. I don't want. It's it references aliens. Like there's a scene where the Sting she names the spider Sting, and
yeah,
so but it's the moment where Sting towards the end where Sting and her is kind of face to face, and you can see things like mouth trying to come at her. It's
hmm,
very similar to when Ripley and the Xenomorph was like face to face, and she's kind of keeping away from her. Uh, it's very similar to that. There's they have literal references to I think it's the creatures to the Black Lagoon in the Black Lagoon. Um, uh, I love that. Also, I love the element that the movie. It reminded me of Krampus, how they are kind of stuck in this apartment building because it's snowed in, and so they can't really escape. Like they're, you know,
hmm, yeah,
uh,
yeah,
they're not, they can't escape. But it's just that I love that element of it. I love the kooky scientist guy, uh, which I wish that we would have seen. I thought it was going to be a Gremlin reference because remember that scientist fed the Gremlin
yeah,
and it ate him. I thought we was going to kind of see that happening. But yeah, I mean, I had fun with it. I had fun with it, like you said, at death with the lady that's kind of mourning the loss of her family. I guess I don't know. And
yeah,
and she's drunk. She's drunk. The spider. She sees a spider on the picture. She falls and cut, puts her head open a little bit. And she also then has a mark on her face from where the spider bit her, I guess. Um,
yeah,
and then, but when she's in the bathroom and she faints, and she breaks her neck and severs her spine, and she's paralyzed, and she can see everything happening to her. Because it goes back to earlier, there was a documentary that the girl was watching that says the tarantula or something that paralyzes its prey, so have they know exactly what's happening to them. They eat them alive or something like that.
Yeah.
And I thought that, yeah, I agree with you. It was so creepy, but that's my other point. There's another alien reference because it going in her mouth and coming out kind of through her chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It had of course, Fowler, the exterminator, Frank. He gave the Predator reference. I busted out laughing. He didn't say it right, first of all, but you knew that's where he's going. It bleeds. We can kill it. I was like, thank you, Predator. I was like, I loved it though. I just busted out laughing, and I was like, please let this man live because he comes back.
Yeah.
He's not dead. He came back, and he kind of gets selfish in the end though. But
I knew the moment that he said it, the way he said it, that he was gonna die. You don't you don't you don't you don't diss the the protagonist and survive. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
so moment he did that, I was like, oh man, he's about to die. And I agree with you. I thought him coming back at the end, it was gonna be that he teams up with them and they try to take out the spider. You
yeah.
know, I thought this was gonna be. Um, but yeah, there's a scene. Um, let's talk about the first kill other than the roaches. The building is infested with roaches. Um, but the first big kill was the bird, the parrot. Uh,
Oh yeah, yeah.
the parrot, the parrot sees the spider and starts squalling like going crazy, and the spider kills the parrot, and the parrot tries to um, get through the bar but couldn't make it through the bar, squeeze through the bar. I guess I don't know if it's trying to squeeze through the bar or the spider's trying to squeeze it through the bar. I'm not sure. What do you think?
I think the spider was. Excuse me. I think the spider was trying to squeeze through the bar, personally. But maybe I mean it could have been a parrot. I don't know why I guess it
Like
was afraid.
trying to escape? Yeah,
Yeah. So you could be right,
but
but maybe they both were trying to squeeze through.
yeah, but there's a part that was hilarious. Like, and I laughed. I literally laughed out loud. It's when the aunt. So there's an aunt who's very mean, very mean.
Oh yeah, I hated her.
Think about the lady from Gremlins who wants uh, the dog put down. You know that lady. Think
Oh
about
yeah.
she's on the same level as that lady. Uh, there's a scene where she's like, and they killed the parrot or something. Like the parrot died or whatever. And
Mhm.
then like Helga says, no, because Helga later says we don't have, I don't have a parrot or something like that. But no, she says something about the cat, and she says, and Helga says, we have a cat, and she says, shut up, Helga. Um,
Yeah.
and I laughed at that because like just the fact that she totally forgets, like, and she's the most, she's safe, super safe because she's smelling mothballs, and that's another thing. Mothballs is a weapon in this movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's a like I don't know anything about spiders personally. Other than I don't like to see them, but like I was watching Arachnophobia earlier, and they were using mothballs to kill it as well. So it must be like I said, I'm illiterate when it comes to killing a spider, like a big
I don't
spider.
know. I don't like spiders, so.
So I guess mothballs works. I'm illiterate. I don't know. I,
Yeah. Now also there's another thing about these spiders. This spider, I keep wanting to say these spiders like there's more, but it's just one
So
spider.
here's the thing. Here's why I thought it was two. Because when the woman's getting killed in the bathroom, they're going in her mouth, they're going out her stomach. The next shot is the scientist, the biology major, whatever he is. He's with a spider. Or did I see
I
that wrong?
think I think for some reason, they should have put another scene in between those. I'm thinking the spider made it back because we can see the spider can make it out of this enclosure and come back to it.
But it
And
was like
tighten it back.
literally the next shot. That's why I was like, okay, is there two? 'Cause I
Yeah,
literally got on my phone. I was like, I texted you. Is there two spiders?
yeah,
I was at
yeah,
that point. It's like, so I was confused. It's like
yeah. If that's the case, then you would have had what's that movie that you like with the shark?
sharks.
With the two,
Well, when you said that, I'll just go like Placid because there's multiple.
no, the one with Jason Statham.
Meg.
Meg, yeah, there's two sharks. At the end of that's the whole thing. Oh, there's two of them. You know, and
Yeah,
yeah,
I like Placid better because there's two. He just killed one and he sedated the others. Oh, there's two. I don't know. It just they did a better job with like Placid than they did with the Meg. That's all I'm saying. When it
yeah,
comes to there's more than one.
yeah. I will say that I thought that I want to mention this too. So the spider's web is very interesting. As
Yeah.
it gets bigger, it's green, and it's almost like it burns to the touch. It's like you can't touch it because it cuts you or something like that. Or
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's sharp or what, but it's just like very.
Right.
I had fun. I literally had fun with this movie. I loved how campy it was. Um, the issues that you pointed out, it makes sense too. But like you was okay, you wanted to see people get their comeuppance like that woman, but then also you felt bad when they got her comeuppance. Like you felt bad that she,
Yeah, I
because
mean,
it's a horrifying scene because they're just kind of stuck together and they can't really move,
yeah.
and the spider pulls her off, and you're like, oh man, that's terrible.
Yeah, and you got to appreciate this movie too because obviously it didn't have the biggest budget. I truly believe it was an independent film that got a limited release because I remember it was like in theaters for maybe a week. It was very limited, and you got to appreciate movies like this. Don't have a lot of budget, but still get their goal across. You know, their objective. It was a fun movie. Michael says it's the best Spider movie of all time. I still think that's Arachnophobia, but for the limited Spider movies I've seen, it was fun. You know, it's better than Eight-Legged Freaks. I would argue that with anybody. Eight-Legged Freaks is like an abomination. This was fun, and I thought the acting was good. I mean, the grandma kind of got on my nerves, but I wasn't looking at it from the point of view that something was wrong with her. I just thought she was just very forgetful and kind of annoying. So now I feel bad because I wrote that in my Letterboxd review that she annoyed me. Now I feel bad. I hate that.
That's why when she's calling the Terminator at first, it has by the phone, my name is Helga. I live at this part, because
Yeah, I see it now. I wasn't seeing it as I was watching. That's how it usually works for me. It'll hit me later.
Unfortunately, I've had family members with Alzheimer's and dementia.
Yeah.
So I've seen that, and so I noticed it, immediately. I knew exactly what she had, and, the moment that I noticed when she called back to it. Now there was a part in it that wasn't really consistent. Is like she shushed when she had the bump in and she went back to the city. She shushed.
Yeah, she did it in the movie too.
Yeah. But so the movie, I will say this too. I loved how they were able to show the scene with Jermaine Fowler, Frank, at the very beginning, and you think, oh man, and then they said 5 days earlier or something like that, or something, and it shows kind of like what happened leading up to it, and everything. Then from that point, it's just like leading up to that day. But then later on, it shows when he comes back in, it starts intercutting his scene with it. But you get more perspective as to what has happened at that point.
Yeah.
And then when he comes back later, and you're like, oh, because he comes down to shoot and he survives, and you're like, oh, he's still living, and you kind of like, yes, I want him to live,
Yeah,
and
you
so
really do. But then
and
he
that's
kind of
what,
comes a jerk,
yeah,
though. So you're like, and as you pointed out, well, he's gonna bite it.
yeah,
And we just spoiled this movie, but it came out in March. And it's on Hulu. Go watch it on Hulu. I'm
yeah. Go
sorry,
watch it. We're spoiling the movie. We're gonna spoil this, but yeah,
but our podcast should be called "Spoilers Ahead."
we should rename it from Mark That Movie Podcast to We Spoil Everything. Um,
People don't like that, Aaron. They don't like people spoiling stuff.
yeah.
I know this because I'm always told this. And my son's the same way. He'll spoil it. Oh man, he'll spoil it. He'll look it up.
Maybe the spoiler section. I don't know. We can shop a name. If you down to change it, we'll change it. We'll do what we got to do. We'll make it happen, Captain. But
Happen.
yeah. But no, I love the.
I like that.
I'll tell you this, and I'm going to say this with all of my chest. I want everyone that's listening to me hear this. I absolutely loved this movie better than Terrifier 3 because that was abysmal.
Woo.
That was terrible, and I just want to say that was a no go for me. That was a no.
No good.
No.
Well, you're gonna upset a lot of people, especially the people that love Gorefest.
I don't care. I don't care. Terrifier 3.
But I agree. I really agree. I think I don't know what you gave your score. I think it was just 2.5.
On Terrifier, yeah, something like that. I gave it for just for art in some of the scenes, not the gore scenes, but just when he is just seeing him and like interacting with other people. I love that stuff, but he takes it way too far.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's the worst movie of the year. So I don't want people to misunderstand what I'm trying to say, but it was the worst experience I had in cinema all year. Like, I wasn't comfortable watching that, and we both grew up watching the icons. We've seen Leatherface do everything he's done. Seen Jason. I remember Jason took the girl with the body bag. First time I ever seen it. It freaked me out. We've come so far, and I think just to do this, to be brutal, just to be brutal, it's with there's no objective behind it, really. There's no end game. I don't see an end game in this story, if you want to call it a story. I don't see a story, period. But it's just, let's up the ante of every sequel because we don't really have a story. That's what I get from it. And I know that's going to upset some people because a lot of people like this movie. They love it. They think it's the best horror film of the year. I've heard people say this online, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah. I want people to know that we are speaking about Terrifier 3.
Yeah, Aaron had to bring it up. He couldn't help himself.
I'll put it right real quick so people know what I'm talking about. Real quick, and then we're gonna get back to Sting. But yeah, I thought it was terrible. I thought that the fact that they I don't like where they're going with the whole mystical thing with the girl and the so like they try to have her be like a Laurie Strode or a
I don't understand that, because if you're gonna go that route, why didn't you make the first final girl that character? It just, I don't know. It just don't. I personally like Art the Clown. I do. I think he's interesting. But he gives me Freddy vibes in a way. Because he'll kill kids. Like, there's no issue there, and that's what Freddy was known for. So he gives me the modern era Freddy Krueger vibes.
Well,
but
Pennywise
gives
me more of that.
Does he?
I get vibes from Pennywise for Freddy than.
I don't know. I understand why you would. I mean, the look and everything, but but Pennywise is just a bully. Once you stand up to him, he
So is Freddy. Freddy's a bully. It's a big.
Think so?
Yeah, he's a bully. He gets you in his world and he beats you. But as soon as you get him in the real world, he's a punk and he don't have a leg to stand on.
he did pretty good against Jason.
Yeah, that's one. It's a one and done.
It was,
But
sadly, for them. It was the last time Rob played Freddy, so sadly.
they should have went. I'm sorry, real quick, and then we're gonna get back to things. But they should have went with it where it leads. I would have been down with the whole Freddy versus Jason versus Ash. I would have been down with that. I thought that would be kind of cool to see Ash kind of going against them. But then ultimately, somebody's got to lose, and I can't see it being Ash losing.
I can't remember how it all went down. I think he kills Jason or he sends him back to hell. I don't remember what happened to Freddy. He becomes president in the sequel, the other sequel they did it as a comic book, but it was just weird. I liked it, but I didn't like it. So if that was the direction they were going in, I don't think I would have had as much fun with that movie as I did the first one. But I can say I understand why people don't like the movie. It doesn't feel like Freddy versus Jason. Like it doesn't feel like what it should have been. What it would have been in the 80s feels like they were just trying to have fun. It was a popcorn film, essentially.
I mean, I had a good time with it though.
Yeah, I did. I still like it, but I get why people bash it. They didn't want that. And
well, my biggest thing that I didn't like about it is, and nothing against King Kirsinger, I just wanted.
Oh yeah.
I wanted Kane Hodder because it would have been for me. I mean,
it would have been
cool.
a different movie.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then I didn't like the look of Jason. But you can ruin his look. You can just like Michael. You can take them and butcher their look. Like think about 4 and 5. I would say the look of Michael was terrible. I think 1, 2, 6 was no. I don't think I like 6 either. I think
H2O didn't have a good mask either.
I think H2O didn't have a good mask. When we got the Resurrection,
they had a good mask.
They had a good mask, and then like the zombie stuff. I like the zombie stuff, and then like the later, the other stuff. But yeah,
at least they didn't ruin the mask in the Legacy sequels.
No, they saved that. But anyway, real quick, final thought on Terrifier 3. I thought it was gore just for gore's sake, and then they did some very sacrilegious stuff that I didn't appreciate. With thorns and stuff.
I almost forgot about that.
Yeah. So I found it appalling, and if I don't see another Terrifier movie, I'm okay with it.
Let's get another one. I've seen the last 2 in theaters. I know I said I wouldn't see another one, and the thing is I didn't plan to see this one. The plan was for me and Aaron to go see Halloween 2. I couldn't find a parking space. And I mean, I looked for like 5-10 minutes. I was like, man, I wasn't expecting it to be like that. Like, especially with everybody craving how good Terrifier 3 was. I was like, okay, well, that'll get most of the people over to the theater. I knew it was planned. I just kind of forgotten.
There's more people at the Halloween thing than it was.
Yeah, that should tell you something about today. People rather go see 2 old movies and see what's fresh today.
Yeah, and that's something else that I will publicly apologize to you. I thought about what you said. And you're right. Halloween 1 is the best of the Halloween films because the atmosphere, it sets the tone of who Michael is. And Michael is essentially a shark, and he's talking to spray, and
there's no reason to apologize.
Because Halloween 2, if you see it, it's more of a cash grab, and it is more of a Friday 13th type of cash grab that even John didn't like. But he had to step in to essentially remedy but yeah. But all right, back to Sting real quick, so we can conclude this. The movie ends with the stepfather Ethan essentially sacrificing himself to save his family. But he survives. He dies, but they bring him back. But and then like the family hugs they're hugging. I don't even think they're leaving the room. They're still hugging. And the camera pans over and reveals what, Brandon?
Oh, well, before we get there,
Oh, I had to kill the spider. Yeah.
okay, yeah, they pushed that button and it squished it like the Terminator, man, like the Terminator. I'll be back. Yes, you will, Sting. You'll be back because there is a nest, and oh man, it looked like eggs from Critters, man. It looked it. Oh, how can you not? I can't unsee it. I mean, it looked exactly the same shot from Critters, but it was spider eggs.
And I love that in Critters, did it show? I remember the end of Critters. Wasn't the egg hatching? Wasn't one of them hatching? Same with this. Yeah, it was totally. I didn't even get the Critters reference, but then when you said that, it makes so much sense. It is. I would love a sequel to this movie, even if it goes straight to streaming, like Hulu or something like that. I'm okay with it because I had fun with it. I had fun with it. I would love the idea. My only biggest thing that I would not like about it is that they killed Frank.
Yeah.
If somehow Frank survived, I would love it.
No way he survived, though. I mean, he got his head bitten off.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't see it, but you see blood splat. You know that's what's happening. I mean, it's clearly his head is being ripped apart from his body.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wish I could have seen that. That a spider that big doing that. I want to see that.
Yeah.
Don't give me the illusion of it. Give me that. I want to see that. You're rated R. There's no reason not to show that.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of that, a couple of things real quick. One, there was a scene of a dead cat. The spider, he's eating the dogs. He's eating the cat. He ate the cat. I think he ate the dog too. So he was gonna eat the baby, but they saved the baby, saved the mother, and but there's a scene of the cat. My question is, what was the R rating for it? It didn't have a lot of language. There were some F-bombs here and there. Mainly came from Frank.
I would say the R rating was for Frank, his death.
Yeah. But they didn't show it. They didn't even show it, so they could have got away with a PG-13, I think, or maybe even no.
Well, maybe the gore there, though. I mean, the blood splattering. I think that.
And the makeup on his face, his eye was kind of split a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Also, the scene with the woman going in the mouth, out the stomach. I think that gives you an R rating.
Yeah.
R-rating.
And then how they found her body, they kind of showed the aftermath of her body. But all right, I'm ready to give my numbers. You ready?
Well, before we do, you said you want to see a sequel to this, and you're okay with it being streaming. Where would do you think it's who owns this? Do you know?
I don't. I don't know who owned it. I would love to see
a sequel. I don't want Netflix to do it though. That's, and maybe I'm wrong for saying that, but they just.
No, I don't want Netflix. I like, if anyone, Prime may do a good job of it. Hulu may do a good job of it. Shudder would probably do an excellent job, but it's not widely seen if it's on Shudder.
Yeah.
Prime, maybe, I would say, could do a good job. I think Hulu is campy enough. They have campy stuff.
Like, I watched, I don't know if you've seen it. It was, I ain't going to say what kind of genre it was. It was a horror film, obviously, if I watched it recently. It's got Justin Long in it, House of Darkness. I really like that. I think that's a Hulu original. And I don't know if you've seen it.
No, I haven't seen it. I think it's on my list No,
I really enjoyed it though. Like I knew the outcome and all that. It's predictable that way, but Justin Long just carries it so well. You just knew if Justin Long's in a horror movie, you just pretty much well know what's going to happen to him. But it was a solid film. It caught me off guard. It really did. But yeah, I'd be okay if Hulu did it. I think Prime probably be the best place because it's got more eyes. They really are growing. They got a lot that they're doing. So I really need to get it back. But yeah, okay. Numbers. Go ahead. My bad.
I'm going to give it 4 Morgans out of 5. I enjoyed it.
4.
Yeah, one thing that I didn't like about it is I wanted Frank to survive. I wasn't really keen on the little girl. She was okay, but she wasn't. I was more interested in Ethan, the stepfather, and I wanted more of his story. And I wish that there's more people in the apartment buildings for more victims. I think that would be cool. And I would love to see more of the kills. But yeah, other than that, I give it 4 because I had a good time with the movie. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I can't go that high. I'm gonna go to my original number. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. I thought it was fun. I thought it had some.
It's still fresh.
Yeah, it's still fresh. I mean, it has some tone issues, but I didn't really care for the grandmother, but now I understand why she was the way she was, so I kind of feel bad for that. But the aunt or whatever she was, I hated her, but it really had some good kills. It really did, and I would be on board for a sequel, no doubt.
Yeah.
So, do you think this is better than Arachnophobia?
Okay. I haven't seen Arachnophobia in so long, but Arachnophobia is a movie that. This movie, the moment the spider gets bigger, it doesn't really scare me as much because it's because I know there ain't no spider. I don't think this spider getting that big. I don't know. There might be one. Y'all hit us in the comments about spiders that can get that big. But anyway, but with Arachnophobia, that scene of him putting his half slippers on and getting beat on the foot, to this day, I check my shoes because of that movie. That movie. I didn't. When my mom rented me Arachnophobia, or she might have bought it. She bought it and brought it home, and I seen the cover, and it had John Goodman on the cover, and it was kind of a illustrated cover with the purple, bluish looking night, stars, and see him standing with the little Eliminator outfit and kind of smiling. It says Arachnophobia. And I was thinking, I know him from Roseanne, and I was thinking this is going to be a comedy. I'm like, I don't know what Arachnophobia means at this point in my life. I was a little kid, so I was like, I'm going to watch it. So and I popped it in, and I started watching the movie, laid on the couch and watched that movie. By the end of the night, Brandon, I was cleaning cobwebs out of the corner of the ceiling because I didn't want spiders. I was so paranoid, and it developed an arachnophobia I have today. I literally have a fear of spiders. Arachnophobia is number 1 in terms of spider movies because it literally, to this day, I'm afraid of spiders. I ain't afraid to tell y'all. Spiders, rats.
Oh, rats. Yes.
Rats. I don't do those. They mess me up. And I might be choosing a rat movie, Brandon. I'm sorry.
No. No. Real reaction right there. That was real. Like, I'll be honest. The scariest movie I've ever seen in my life, this is the truth. The one that freaked me out the most was Willard with Crispin Glover.
No. Yeah.
Not that the movie's great or anything. I'm just afraid of rats. I can't deal with them. And there was a lot in that movie. And he was creepy enough. He's a creepy character actor as it is. But that movie, it freaks me out. I can't rewatch it. Like, I just can't do it.
I might choose one. We'll see. It'll be hard for me to because this movie that I might be choosing is one of the movies that made me so afraid of rats in mice. Willard is the other. This movie is the other one. And can I ask you if you seen it before?
Yeah, go ahead. Probably a
It's
no.
Rat Night of Terror.
Nope.
Came out in 1984.
Nope. Never seen it. Never heard of it.
It messed me up. Messed me up. And then there's another one. There's another movie that messed me up where the rats were like get to become giant rats.
Been there, done that. Don't want that again.
Yeah.
That was real life. It was the biggest rat I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and I don't want that ever again. So it'd be hard. I just switched. And also one more thing. What's another rat thing?
No.
One more.
Just the word rat just.
My mother took us to fishy business as a kid, and I went into the room where they had the pet rat,
Mm-hmm.
and I was looking at them and it was freaking me out. And that night I had a dream of rat, and I woke up. And just think about it, you dream about it. Sometimes I can do this in my dreams. I hate this. So I woke up and I seen a rat on my chest, but it wasn't there. It was from my dream. My brain was still seeing something from my dream, and it was on my chest. And I jumped up. Oh my gosh.
I would die. Literally, I would have a massive heart attack if I woke up thought a rat was on my chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I may or may not choose that movie. Because it will take a lot for me to do it. All right, Brandon.
Torture me. He wants to torture me. That's all it is.
What do you want to? What are you showing next week? Let me ask you that.
Okay, I know I said I was going to look at my list. I didn't look, but I think I'm going to go with what not originally picked, but what I last told you about. I think I'm going to do the versus mode because, it's horror. And one of the things that developed in horror in the late 70s, early 80s was The Final Girl. And I like to show love to the Final Girls. And Ready or Not versus You're Next. I think those have been two of the best Final Girls in modern horror slasher cinema. So I'm gonna go with those. I'm gonna go with that versus mode.
All right. So I have a lot of movies to watch. Okay.
You got two to watch. You got two. Two.
Oh, yeah. I will. All right. Well, what do we want the people to do?
If you like this episode, you want to see more, click that like, click that subscribe, comment, share, do whatever you got to do to get to know all about the Mark Out Movie Podcast.
Yep. Which we may or may not change the name. We'll see. We might be spoiler ready. I don't know.
We've had it 5 years. I mean,
might as well keep it or change it.
I mean, you would have to change your logo and everything else. I mean, I know you don't want to go through all that trouble.
I really don't, but I mean, I can. Thank God for AI. I can just kind of create stuff. But we'll see. But in the meantime, and in between time, Aaron Whitlow,
Brandon Spivey.
Thank you for marking that one here on the Mark That Movie Podcast. Stay with some spiders. Enjoy your movie viewing weekend, whatever you plan on seeing. Make sure it's scary. Too.
I heard it's great. I have.
I'm not there yet. I may. It can't be any worse than Terrifier 3. So you can only go up from there. You can only go up. So yeah, it'll probably be great. It'll probably be Oscar worthy compared to that. I'm like, oh man, it's a great movie I've seen this year. No, still Romulus. Alien Romulus is the best horror movie I've seen this year.
Yeah, I stand by that. It's been the best.
All right.
It'll take a lot for me to change my opinion on that. So
yeah, that's a 5-star movie, honestly. But yeah. All right, well, we appreciate you here at the Mark Out Movie Podcast. Maybe change the name. Let us know, what do you want our new name to be? That'd be awesome. We think about something with the word spoilers in it. Because we're gonna spoil everything. It ain't gonna just give you and we're gonna tell you what you
Well,
go back on. We're gonna spoil everything. We'll
This is
spoil
how-
everything.
this is how we become different. We spoil everything.
Spoil everything. And maybe that's what we should be called. We spoil everything. Movie reviews. I don't know. We'll think of it. All right, Aaron, we thank you. You have a good weekend.